Listen to how you describe your failures. Listen to the vocabulary you use. When you explain why you are not where you want to be in life, you say that the economy is broken. You say that your boss is unfair, that the market is saturated, that you are not born with the right genetics, or that you simply have terrible luck. You have constructed a massive, impenetrable fortress of excuses, and you defend it with your life. It is time to face the fifth brutal truth that you actively avoid. You are not a victim. You are not uniquely cursed by the universe. The uncomfortable reality is that you secretly love your problems. You hold on to your perceived disadvantages because they are the ultimate shield for your ego. If your failure is the fault of the government, the fault of your parents, or the fault of society, then you are completely absolved of the responsibility to fix it. Victimhood is a highly addictive narcotic. It provides you with immediate comfort and fake sympathy from other weak people, but it slowly paralyzes your ability to act. When you declare yourself a victim of your circumstances, you are voluntarily surrendering all of your personal power to external forces. You are telling the world that you are a helpless passenger in a vehicle, driven by random chance. But the universe does not care about your complaints. The storm does not care that you think the rain is unfair. We live in an era where victimhood has somehow become a social currency. People compete in a race to the bottom, proudly displaying their traumas and disadvantages as if they are medals of honor. They build entire identities around the things that have gone wrong in their lives. This is a disease of the modern mind. The Stoic philosophy looks at this mindset with absolute disgust. To complain about your circumstances is to insult your own potential. Every time you complain, you are actively rewiring your own brain for failure. You are physically teaching your nervous system to seek the path of least resistance. Look at the people around you who constantly complain about their lot in life. Look at their posture, look at their empty eyes. They are defeated. They huddle together in weak groups, feeding off each other's misery, creating a pathetic echo chamber where success is viewed as a genetic accident rather than the result of agonizing daily discipline. If you stay in that echo chamber, you will die there. Every single time you point your finger outward and place the blame on someone else, you are forging another link in the invisible iron chain that keeps you anchored to mediocrity. You must realize that fairness is a childish illusion. The world was never designed to be fair. It is designed to be a brutal, uncompromising testing ground. The men who conquer history do not ask for a fair fight. They ask for the strength to dominate an unfair one. Stop admiring your chains and pretending they were forced upon you. Acknowledge the lie today.
To completely destroy the victim mentality, we must look at the life of Epictetus. He was not a Roman emperor born into absolute power and endless wealth. Epictetus was born a slave. He was physically crippled, his leg brutally broken by his master. If anyone in human history had the objective right to complain about unfairness, to play the victim, and to curse the universe, it was him. Yet Epictetus became one of the most powerful and respected philosophers in the history of the world. Why? Because he understood the master key of Stoicism, the absolute dichotomy of control. He realized that while he could not control his physical body, his masters, or his status in society, he had absolute tyrannical control over his own mind. He wrote, "It is not events that disturb people. It is their judgments concerning them." Epictetus did not waste a single breath demanding that society treat him fairly. He did not form a support group to discuss the trauma of slavery. He recognized that his external circumstances were simply the raw material he was given, and his only duty was to forge a magnificent mind out of that rough iron. You, reading this, have infinitely more freedom, more resources and more opportunity than Epictetus ever had. Yet you sit in a comfortable, climate-controlled room and cry about how the algorithm doesn't favor you, or how your family didn't support your dreams. It is pathetic. The difference between a king and a slave is not the crown. It is the locus of control. The slave believes his life is dictated by the master, the weather, and the whip. The king knows his life is dictated strictly by his own actions, his own discipline, and his own unbreakable will. When you complain, you sound exactly like a slave. You must forcefully reprogram your mind to accept amor fati, the love of fate. Do not merely tolerate the unfairness of your life. Embrace it. Look at the massive obstacles, the betrayals, and the setbacks, and say to yourself, "Good, this is the heavy resistance required to build a stronger version of myself." It is easy to pretend you are a Stoic when the sun is shining and your bank account is full. But true amor fati is forged in the absolute darkest moments of your existence. When your business collapses or when your physical body breaks down, that is the arena. The fragile modern man views these brutal moments as proof that the universe hates him. The true Stoic views them as a highly personalized training program designed by the gods to completely eliminate his weaknesses. You must stop bargaining with reality. Stop wishing for a softer bed and learn to sleep comfortably on the cold stone. The fire that burns the weak man is the exact same fire that tempers the blade of the strong man. The choice is yours. You can either be consumed by the flames of self-pity, or you can use the heat to forge indestructible armor. Stop expecting a smooth sea and learn how to command your ship through the hurricane.
The only way to completely break free from this pathetic cycle is to take the heavy crown of extreme responsibility. You must adopt a philosophy that terrifies the average man. Everything is your fault. Even if you were wronged, even if someone betrayed you, even if a natural disaster wiped out your business, it is entirely your fault. Not because you caused the event, but because your response to the event is your absolute, inescapable responsibility. When you take the blame for everything, you instantly take the power to change everything. If your failure is your fault, then your success is entirely within your control. This shift in perspective is the most violent, aggressive transformation a man can undergo. It instantly strips away all of your comfortable excuses. There is no longer anyone to blame when you miss your goals. There is no bad luck, only a lack of preparation. You are the sole architect of your ruin, and you are the sole architect of your empire. This is the fifth step in the protocol. We have conquered the illusions of motivation, fear, and comfort. Now, we execute the victim. You must train your mind to view every single disadvantage as a strategic training tool. If you are poor, you have the advantage of hunger. If you are unknown, you have the advantage of operating in absolute silence. If you have been broken, you have the advantage of knowing exactly how to rebuild. Stop waiting for an apology from the universe. Stop waiting for someone to recognize your pain. No one is coming to save you, and no one owes you a damn thing. Let the rest of the world sit in a circle, comparing their wounds and demanding sympathy. You must step out of the circle, walk into the cold dark, and start lifting the heavy stones. The moment you take this heavy crown of extreme responsibility, you will instantly become a massive threat to the weak men around you. They will secretly hate you because your relentless execution exposes their laziness. They will tell you that you are working too hard, that you need to relax, that you are taking life entirely too seriously. Let them talk. A wolf does not concern himself with the opinions of the sheep. Your bloodline, your future legacy, and your empire demand that you aggressively separate yourself from the herd. Embrace the absolute freezing isolation of leadership. When the storm finally clears, they will still be crying in the mud, while you will be standing alone on top of the mountain you built. Leave the victim mentality behind. Replace it with the terrifying certainty that you are entirely alone on the battlefield, and that your victory depends strictly on the blood and sweat you are willing to sacrifice today. Stand up straight. Silence the inner voice that begs for fairness. Murder the victim inside of you, and begin the brutal, glorious work of taking total ownership of your destiny. The world belongs to the men who take responsibility, not the men who assign blame. The anvil is ready. Strike the iron.